Hi, I'm autistic and ADHD, and today I want to talk about the interplay of autistic special interests and ADHD hyperfixations. I have been thinking about this for a long time in regards to my own interests, and while I do have a few special interests, there is one that I've had for nearly a decade, which is music, or more specifically K-pop, because I've been into music ever since I was a child basically, but it's been almost a decade since I have been into K-pop, and yeah, as you can see, I'm not yet tired of it, so it really has been a big interest of mine and something that I just find a lot of joy in when I'm just engaging with the content, with the music, and yeah, this is not a video talking about the dark side of it, so we're not going to touch on that, but I'm very aware of this as well. However, today I will talk about special interests and hyperfixations. So, K-pop is the topic. This is my special interest, and how do hyperfixations show up here now? That's quite interesting because K-pop as a special interest doesn't really change. Like, that's just consistent. But there are so many different groups within K-pop, and I would say I probably have around at least 10 groups that I would consider my favorite. And the groups is exactly where the hyperfixations come in, because I'm just incapable of just standing one group for months, for years on end, and there's just way too many groups that pique my interest. So for me, it's basically like I get into this one group, and then I tend to really hyperfixate on that one group. I watch like all the content that I find or that interests me or that I just really want to watch right now. I listen to all of their music. I just kind of repeat their whole discography, and I watch all the live stages and whatever. And usually that, I would say on average, takes about 3 to 4 months until I have kind of caught up with most things, or I've just caught up with like everything that interests me. And then it's not that I lose interest, but it's kind of like I don't really have anything stimulating anymore, anything that really gives me that dopamine. So unless this group has like a comeback that is just around the corner, this is kind of the time frame where a new group suddenly piques my interest again. And then I either get into a new group, or I will go back to one of my favorite groups, which I haven't hyperfixated on for months probably, and then I will basically catch up on that and watch the new content. I've probably listened to the music, but there's a lot of content to watch, and I will catch up with that and watch that and hyperfixate on that until I'm kind of caught up with that again. And then that's again a time frame where another group or another one of like the groups that I already have as my favorites come in and kind of snatch my attention away. And so I keep rotating from group to group to group in, yeah, like a cycle of like 3 to 4 months. It can sometimes be a little less, sometimes it can even be a little longer. For example, one of my favorite groups, P1 Harmony, I've like hyperfixated on them for around a year or even more before I've started to like incorporate like ampers&one into this as well. So it's not always like 3 to 4 months, but that's kind of like the average time frame. And it's just really interesting for me because it just really shows me that, oh, the ADHD side of myself just constantly jumps from one group to the next and just constantly needs like new input, new information, just new stimulation. But the autistic side of myself is like, hey, K-pop is your special interest, or like one of your special interests, and I do not want to give that up. Like, you need to engage with that interest, like, on a daily basis. Otherwise, you will be stressed. So, being interested in K-pop never really changes. But the group that I'm currently focusing on the most constantly changes. And to me, that's like a really nice way of autistic special interests and ADHD hyperfixations showing up and also working together in a way. Yeah.